AI agent marketplaces are striking gold, dishing out tech that's changing the game. And we're jumping in today on unlocking the future. But before we dive in, we found that 50% of you aren't following us yet. Please do us a huge favor, hit that follow button, and collect our episodes on pods.media. Your support means a lot. Thanks, guys.
Okay, let's unpack this AI agent marketplaces. It feels like we hear about AI constantly, right? But this area feels different. Like it's really about to shift how businesses work. So today, our mission really is to cut through all that noise. We want to give you a clear picture of what these marketplaces are and, well, why you should probably care about them.
Exactly. Think of this as your quick guide through a pretty big shift in how companies get their hands on AI. We've looked at a lot of info, trying to pull out the really important stuff. The goal is just to explain why this matters, whether you're deep in tech or just kind of curious about where AI is heading for businesses. And we've been digging into articles, reports, all sorts of things, trying to blend different viewpoints for a good overview of this fast-moving scene. So let's start right at the beginning. What are these AI agent marketplaces?
Okay, so in simple terms, they're basically platforms. They connect businesses with specialized AI tools. We call these AI agents. Think of them as little software robots built for specific jobs. They work pretty much on their own once you set them up. What's key is their focus, not general AI, but like tools for this task or that process.
Got it. So targeted tools, not just broad AI. You had a really good analogy earlier.
Right. Imagine an app store, but for your company. Instead of phone apps, you're finding AI agents to handle, say, customer service emails or complex marketing tasks. The big idea is they're meant to be fairly easy to roll out without needing a whole team of tech wizards.
That app store comparison really makes sense. So is this just talk, or are these things actually up and running?
Oh, it's definitely happening now. Salesforce, for instance, launched Agent Exchange back in March 2025. It's essentially their library of pre-made AI agents designed to work right inside Salesforce. And then just this April 12th, the AI agent store got a big spotlight at India's AI Days. They were showing off how big companies are already using these agents in their daily work.
Okay, so big names are already in. And the scale.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned some growth numbers that sounded pretty wild.
Yeah, they really are. The forecast is it jumps from about $5.3 billion in 2024, potentially $216.8 billion by 2035. That's a huge leap. Over 40% growth year on year. It really tells you something's going on.
Wow, $216 billion. Okay, so what's behind that? Why is this exploding now? And maybe more importantly, why should someone listening, maybe not even in tech, pay attention?
Well, the main thing is just this huge ongoing need for businesses to automate. Everyone wants to be more efficient, cut costs, AI agents look like a really good answer to that. It's tied into how work itself is changing, really.
The bottom line, automation for efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
But you also said this could be huge for smaller businesses, SMBs. How does that work?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. These marketplaces could kind of democratize AI for small and medium businesses. Usually, AI means big spending, custom builds, data scientists, stuff SMBs often can't afford. But these marketplaces, they offer tools often on subscription much cheaper. They could tap into that massive SMB IT spend, $750 billion. So instead of a giant project, a small company could just subscribe to an agent for, say, marketing. Makes AI suddenly reachable.
That really does sound like it levels the playing field. So no need for an in-house AI genius. Just subscribe to the tool you need.
Pretty much, yeah. And the speed difference can be huge. Think about a shop trying to automate inventory checks.
Yeah.
It used to take months, maybe, to build that system. With a ready-made agent from a marketplace, they might cut that setup time by 50%, get it running in days, maybe hours. Speed is a big factor.
60% faster, that's significant.
Mm-hmm.
What about the big guys, the large enterprises? How do marketplaces fit in for them?
For them, platforms like Agent Exchange tap into what they call the digital labor market. That's enormous, like $6 trillion potential. These marketplaces give them a way to quickly deploy AI across different departments. Think of a bank using agents for basic customer questions, or a tech firm for initial contract reviews. It lets them plug AI into their systems much faster and at scale. The question becomes how fast they can adapt, really.
So agility and speed for the big companies. And you mentioned specific industries are already seeing benefits.
Yeah.
Like
healthcare, for example. Using agents to automate appointment scheduling, confirmations, frees up staff for actual patient interaction. Or in education, think about grading. AI agents could maybe handle the first pass on assignments, which takes teachers ages. Across the board, there's talk about potentially cutting administrative costs by maybe 20% using these agents. That's a big draw.
Okay, clear picture now of what they are and why they're growing. So who are the actual companies making this happen, the key players?
Right. There are a few standouts with different angles. Enso, based in the US, launched February 2025. They're really focused on SMBs. Their marketplace has agents for specific tasks, marketing emails, sales, leads, even things like tracking inventory. It's all subscription-based, designed so you don't need your own data scientists. They're targeting those businesses maybe left out before.
Right, hitting that accessibility point for smaller players.
Exactly. Then you've got Salesforce Agent Exchange. We mentioned them, launched March 25. They already have over 200 partners involved. Big names like Google Cloud, DocuSign. They offer templates for enterprise stuff, customer support, contract analysis. And they say over 10,000 businesses are already using it to streamline workflows. Shows that immediate appetite.
10,000 already, wow.
Yeah.
That's quick adoption. And the AI agent store from India's AI days, what's their role?
The AI agent store seems maybe more like a global hub for finding agents right now. They showed off some cool enterprise uses, though, like Tata using agents to optimize their supply chain. It acts as a central place to list and find agents, and they've got filters for industries like healthcare, logistics, to help narrow it down.
Okay, so specialization seems to be a trend. And you had some real-world examples of companies using these.
Yeah, absolutely. Downtown Travel, a U.S. company, uses Enso's marketing agents. They target travel agents specifically, and they reported a 15% jump in bookings in Q1 2025. They put it down to the automated outreach and better customer targeting from the agent. And then SAP over in Germany is using Agent Exchange for financial forecasting. Reports say they cut reporting time by 30% for something like 5,000 of their corporate clients. Real measurable results.
Those are strong examples, moving beyond just hype to actual impact.
Okay.
But new tech always has bumps in the road. What are the challenges or downsides here?
Good point. There are definitely hurdles. One big one is just, overall AI adoption is still kind of low. In the U.S. anyway. Reports say maybe only 5% of companies use AI actively, another 7% are planning it. A lot of that comes down to expertise, right? Especially for SMBs. Finding and affording people who know AI is tough.
That's critical.
Yeah.
If you don't have the know-how internally, even an accessible marketplace might not help much.
Precisely. And another issue is customization. Marketplaces offer pre-built stuff, which is great for speed, but businesses often have really specific needs, unique workflows. These off-the-shelf agents can be a bit generic sometimes. Some data suggests around 40% of users aren't fully satisfied because the agent doesn't quite fit their niche task. So there's this tension between easy-to-use standard tools and needing something tailor-made.
The one-size-fits-all problem. What about that skill shortage you mentioned? How big a deal is that?
It's potentially a massive break on things. Like we said, maybe 70% of SMBs just can't afford in-house AI experts if we don't get better at training people, upskilling. There's a forecast risk of like a $500 billion productivity gap by 2030. Companies just won't be able to take full advantage of the tech without the people to run it.
$500 billion gap. Okay, those are serious headwinds. So looking forward then, what trends should we be watching? Where is this heading next?
Well, in the short term, probably single agent systems will stay dominant. They're simpler, easier for SMBs wanting quick wins on specific tasks. Projections show them holding maybe 74% of the market by 2035.
So the focus tools we started with, still the main game for a while.
Yeah, likely. But interestingly, the faster growth is expected in multi-agent systems. Their overall share might be smaller, but they're predicted to grow much quicker, nearly 47% CAGR. These are the more complex setups needed for things like autonomous cars or really intricate business processes working together. The collaboration aspect is key there.
So the really advanced stuff grows fastest, even if it starts smaller. Makes sense. What else is on the horizon?
Tackling that skills gap is huge. We're seeing efforts like workshops at IIT rookie training developers on these agent systems. They apparently trained over 10,000 people in 2025. That shows people are realizing it's a bottleneck. We could also see more open source marketplaces emerge, maybe even, say, 20% of agents being free by 2026. That would really open things up even more.
Open source could definitely shake things up. And the collaboration you mentioned, agents working together, how soon for that?
Forecasts are pointing towards maybe 2027. You could see up to half, 50% of agents being able to team up. That lets them handle really complex multi-step jobs, like managing a whole supply chain from end to end, which now needs lots of human coordination.
That sounds like a major step up in capability. Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the main takeaway for listeners about these AI agent marketplaces?
I think the big picture is just immense potential. These marketplaces could genuinely change how businesses run. Some projections say they could handle maybe 60% of business automation tasks by 2030. That touches everything from payroll to patient care for tiny companies and huge corporations.
A truly massive shift possible.
Yeah.
But, as we covered, not without challenges. What are those key roadblocks again?
The big ones are still that customization limit, getting agents that perfectly fit unique needs, and the ongoing shortage of skilled people. If those aren't solved, it could slow things down and maybe even make the gap worse between the AI haves and have-nots.
Right. So the key question going forward seems to be, can these platforms manage to be both accessible and flexible enough? Or will they end up leaving some businesses behind? That's definitely something to think about.
Absolutely. It's worth considering, what could this mean for your work, your field? This isn't just some abstract tech trend. It could really reshape a lot of things pretty soon.
This has been fascinating, really getting into the weeds of AI agent marketplaces. Thanks for breaking it all down so clearly, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the tech shaping our world.